You're listening to Operation Self Reset. We're talking about the 4 C's once again. What is going on, you freaking awesome people? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. My name is Jake Naraki, coming to you live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where each and every week we dive into a different topic in the world of personal development. If this is your first time listening, thank you very much for taking time to listen to this show in particular. Hopefully it helps you. If you're a long-term listener, I applaud you guys. Thanks for sticking with me for the last 5 years. Now, today's show is not the most technology or technical advanced show in the world. The reason why I say that is that this show right here that you're going to be listening to in a second actually was distributed about maybe a year and a half ago. Now, the reason why I decide to recycle it and to redistribute it is because I feel the message is really powerful. I feel the framework and the strategies involved in this show can inspire you again. Or maybe it was one of the shows where you're busy, you're walking, doing other things, and you heard in the background, but you really didn't understand it or digest it. And hopefully today will be that moment of re-inspiration, a moment of identifying, what have I been missing? Hopefully this stuff where I'm listening today can benefit me in the days to come. Now, if you know anything about personal development, there's nothing really new. Personal development has been around since many, many moons ago. I mean, during God times, Jesus times, and even before that, there has been quotes and ideas and methods that have gone through the centuries, that have been molded and critiqued, and stories have been added or removed. And today, what we have here right now is personal development, self-help, in the world that we see it today. A lot of the ideas that are originated or talked about from gurus like Tony Robbins or Jack Canfield are actually theories and systematical approaches that have been talked about for hundreds and hundreds of years. So even though you may be thinking to yourself, Jake, I've heard this before from somebody else, well, that somebody else has heard it from somebody else who are from somebody else and somebody else and somebody else and so on and so forth. And so what I'm trying to say here, instead of getting caught up in the archives or the history books, is to remind you the things that are brought up in today's world are nothing more than reminders of what you should be doing on a regular basis. That's all they are. To remind us of the potential we have, to remind us of the belief systems we can bring within us, and of course to remind us of the awesomeness we have that we're really not giving out into the world. So hopefully this show that I'm going to replay for you will inspire you, will keep you moving, and of course allow you to take that first step in the actionable ways of seeing your life from where you are right here to potentially where you can go. So please sit back and enjoy, and we'll see you on the backside of the show. Let's dive into the concepts for today of limiting beliefs. And there's two sides of this coin, and as you know, last time, I think I kind of lied. Last week I said I'm not going to bring this up again, but I'm going to talk about Self-Reset Mastery. It's my goal program for 2017. It's a 100-day program that I transformed into a all-year-long program. It's $495, and it includes some awesome bonuses, 2 free tickets to my event in September. It allows access of great interviews, and also, of course, we're going to be doing some in-depth information when it comes to personal development. Now, the reason why I lace these two together is because of this. The topics that I'm going to be talking about in 2017 with this elite mastermind group, Self-Reset Mastery, a lot of them are ideas and things we all know we should improve upon, but for some odd reason, we just don't think we can. For some odd reason, we just don't feel it. For some odd reason, we're not able to push through the barriers. Now, it doesn't matter what type of information I share with you guys on this podcast. It doesn't really matter the information that you learn online or read in blogs, because it's all good to know information. We all get it, right? Set better habits, have better productivity, think positive. Let me put up my list of all the things we're going to talk about. And I'm kind of making fun of myself because, look, let's be serious. When it comes to personal development, there's a lot of new ideas, but there's also a lot of traditional ideas. Like a traditional idea is goal setting, right? Oh my gosh, you got to set a goal for 2017. What is it you want to accomplish? What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What is it we want to do? All those great things. But the unique thing is a lot of these habits and routines, and I think the reason why you're here is because we all know we need to keep on improving them. We need to keep on getting better with them because we're not making that progress, right? That's why we're here. If you made progress, if you listen to one of these episodes, you'd be like, Jake, man, woo, I got it, dude. I'm freaking awesome. I'm the best person ever in the world. The great thing, though, about personal development, it makes you humble, humbleizes. I don't even know if that's a word. It makes you humble. Because when you do feel invigorated, and maybe some of you guys are touched right now, invigorated and going, man, I really dig this podcast. This podcast really makes me feel good. And you drive to work, you park your car, you get out of your car, you start walking to work, and then the chaos of the job comes on in, and that feeling that you had in the vehicle dissipates. And so you need me back in your life. And I'm not just saying me, Jake Naraki. I'm saying you need the reminder of all these great ideas because life gets in the way. Life pushes us off track. Life bumps us a little bit. And when you get bumped on the ice skates of life, woo! Sometimes you fall and wipe out and spin into the boards. Sometimes you get off balance and shaky on your legs, but you catch yourself and you get back on course. And the way we get back on course or the way that we get up if we get knocked down is truly to realize these ideas and tips. And so these are a couple of the ideas, which are classic in a way, but yet very powerful in their own regard. And they deal with limiting beliefs only because a lot of you, after I read these topics, you're going to think, yep, I could use more of that in my life. Oh, nope, there's no way I can improve that. Yeah, that one resonates with me. Ooh, that one, oosh. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a good leader, whatever the case may be. So let's go through them. I got 16 of them for you. So let's talk about number one, which I think is maybe one of the most important, is leadership basics. Now, I work for the Milwaukee Fire Department. I'm a lieutenant. I tell people to do some really good things, and then also, too, I do some silly things where I go, man, that was a really bad call. And instead of just being a good leader of other people, I think absolutely you have to be a great leader of yourself. Because, for example, if we have a fire and I am out of shape, for example, I'm out of shape, but yet I have all the tactical mindset and I have all the ways to put out this fire, but yet I can't get my butt to the back door to mask up, to go on into that environment, to hump the hose, to pull out the people that are trapped. If I don't have that physical ability, am I really a good leader, even though I have the mind for it? Of course not. There's absolutely no way. People are not going to respect me. They'll know that I'm quote-unquote book smart, or they know that I know the tactics, but when it comes down to it, I'm going to be a horrible, horrible boss. And so when you think in that mindset, it makes you realize that, you know what, leadership really starts with yourself. To be a good leader, you need to really make sure that you have all your ducks in order, that you're doing everything that you can to lead yourself towards victory. It'd be easy for me to tell people, hey, you know what, tuck in your shirt. Shave your face, get black socks on instead of the white socks. But yet I'm a sloppy guy, I got food all over myself, shirts untucked. Yeah, I'm not a good representation. And we all get that, we all understand that. So I'm not going to get into details on, when it comes to leadership. But leadership is truly one of those things to remind ourselves that, you know what? You need to be self-directed. You need to get yourself in gear. You need to be the person that wakes up early. Now, some of you are thinking, well, Jake, you know what? I feel like I'm a pretty good leader. And others of you right now are thinking, man, I stink at being a leader myself. I have no control over my habits. I have no control over my willpower. I have no control over the things that I think about, and I'm always thinking negative every single day. So what's the answer? Limiting beliefs limit us. They automatically sneak into our life, and they tell us the story before it even happens. And I'll be honest, one of the things I struggle with is if I want to make this business a booming business, if I want to affect millions of people, 20 million people, that's a goal that I have. I want to reach 20 million people. What do I need to do? Well, I need to be very, very organized. And you know what the first thing that comes into my mind when I think of being organized with paperwork and emails and all that stuff is I don't think I can do it. It's not me. That's not the way I was raised. I'm a paperwork all over the place, notes galore, all that stuff. I'm just not that type of person. I need to outsource that. And I think there's two coins to that, two sides of the coin. Number one, I think it's really good to understand your strengths and weaknesses. Good job. Jake, I'm just using myself as an example because I don't know what your limiting beliefs are. But when I think of that, I think, okay, I got to outsource. cool, that's a great idea. But also, too, I also have the negative mindset of there's no way that I can do this by myself. That there's no way that Jay can be organized enough to grow the business to where I want to go. So I think to myself, well, I can't do it. And if I don't have that other person, if I can't outsource this, or if I can't get a partner or somebody on board to help me, then I'm not going to succeed. And a lot of us think like that. A lot of us hear an idea, we realize a strategy, we realize that thing that we should be more of, and then we automatically think like, oh, there's no way I can do that. From weight loss to having a relationship that we actually love that person every single day, to living debt-free, our finances are just dialed in, to starting a business from scratch and knowing that it's going to be successful. All these ideas are really good, but if you have that limiting belief that absolutely stands in your way, well, then it's all over with. Because it doesn't matter how much we listen to awesome dance music. It doesn't matter how much we scream, I'm freaking awesome. It doesn't really matter all of those things. And so we need to make sure, how do we bash those limiting beliefs? Hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but let's talk about our sponsor for today's show. Today's show is brought to you by Sworkit. Head on over to sworkit.com/Operation Self-Reset to get yourself 10% off your membership fee. Now, Sworkit is one of those companies that is absolutely awesome. It has over 25 million people who use Sworkit on a regular basis. Most people don't work out because they don't think they have time or find it too intimidating. Sworkit guides you with videos for your specific needs that can be done at home or in little as 5 to 15 minutes. Now, podcasts are great because they adapt to your lifestyle. You can listen to them whenever, wherever, and on any device. I personally need some flexibility also with my fitness. Now, that's why I'm a fan of Sworkit. It's a digital fitness experience designed for you. Imagine workouts that can be customized to fit whatever needs you have, skipping an exercise with one tap and delivering high-quality videos on any device. And lastly, if you are a listener of Operation Self-Reset, go to sworkit.com/Operation Self-Reset to get 10% off your membership discount on top of a 30-day free trial. Go ahead and check it out. All you have to do is go to Sworkit, SWORKIT.com/Operation Self-Reset. Go sign it up, and your body will thank you. Personally, I am a firefighter. I need to make sure my body is in tip-top shape. Just like you, I'm a busy bee. I have a lot of moving parts in my own personal life, but it is awesome to know that I can have a workout in as little as 5 or 15 minutes that can enhance my physical, not only physique, but of course endurance. In an industry and a job where my body needs to be used to the max, I use Sworkit to get my body in the shape it needs to perform at its best. Once again, head on over to sworkit.com/Operation Self-Reset to get yourself 10% off a membership discount. And of course, when you first sign up, they'll give you a 30-day free trial. So once again, head on over to Sworkit, SWORKIT.com/Operation Self-Reset. Go sign up now. Thanks for listening. So to bash these limiting beliefs, I have this thing called the 4 C's. The 4 C's. C's to the 4th degrees. That was kind of like my rap. And before I kind of get into the 4 C's, I just want to talk about takeaways. And I realize the importance of making sure that I identify what are the takeaways, what are the key principles of podcasts. Because, look, you're driving your car, you're probably texting, which you shouldn't do, or checking email if you're jogging, or you're riding your bike, or you're exercising, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you're not able to catch the real information that is going on within the podcast. So I'm trying better. I'm going to try to become a better presenter and really identify the certain takeaways in each podcast. So here they are for today. As we all know, we learn in systems, like 3 steps or, 10 pillars, whatever the case may be. So today we're going to be talking about 4 C's. The 4 C's are this, okay? Ready, everybody? Because I guess I'm now like a teacher in a classroom setting. Sit down. Hey, Billy. Yeah, no, put down that paper. No, you cannot throw it. Oh, all right. That was my reenactment if I was a teacher yelling at Billy. If your name's Billy, I apologize. I was just trying to be in the moment there, act it out, do little gestures. But anyway, here are the 4 C's. Number 1, we're going to catch it, we're going to cover it, we're going to challenge it, and we're going to conquer it. Okay, again, it's catch as number 1. Number 2 is cover. Number 3 is challenge, and number 4 is conquer. All right, so how does this relate, Jake? Give me a backstory here. How can I put this into my life right now, buddy? Come on now. All right, so let's say, for example, you're at work. The day is going really good. Like, you're having a good day. Like, you just listened to Operation Self Reset. Your life is, like, on the way of becoming freaking awesome. You go to lunch with some buddies and some friends from work, and you had some good times. And you're thinking, oh, man, dude, today I'm just going to crush it for the last couple hours of work. I'm going to go home, have an awesome meal, play with the kids, watch some TV with my hubby or loved one, and go to bed early because I understand the importance of sleep. Okay? You're thinking, wow, I'm going to crush it today. Then at like 2:30 in the afternoon, your boss or superior officer or manager or whoever the heck you are below says, oh, hey, Jake, we got this huge project and we need you to finalize it. Can you just go over the numbers? Can you look at everything and make sure that it all lines up? We need that before you end work today. And if you're not able to finish it by 5 o'clock, you're going to have to bring it home and email me the results because we really need it by tonight. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. And you're thinking, what the? Inside, internally, because let's be serious, if you're a professional in a professional setting, you can't just go irate and go postal. Okay, postal, by the way, is probably a bad term to use, but you just can't freak out on people, right? So what's the first thing that we need to do? Well, we need to catch that limiting belief. The limiting belief in that scenario is that you don't have the time, the energy, the resources, the ability to dedicate yourself because, quote unquote, you're already checked out. Quote unquote, you've already kind of given up on the day and you're already looking forward to the evening with family and your kids or a good meal or good sleep. And now the limiting belief is there's no way I can do this. And now I am teed off. I'm really, really angry. So in those moments, that's kind of a limiting belief. And you may be thinking, well, that's not really a limiting belief. I mean, because you're able to accomplish it. You know, a limiting belief is something. Okay, all right. But a limiting belief in the real world, because a lot of these things in the personal development space kind of get wrapped into like, I think I can or I think I can't. No. Because the real world is this. When our mind changes focus from something really freaking awesome to something really negative, that's a limiting belief right there. And the limiting belief in this example, again, is not having the time, the energy, the resources, and you're going to stay up late and you're going to be teed off and all that stuff. And in those moments when that happens, when we get that switch, when we get that gut-turning feeling, when we get that hot flash, when we get that wave of emotion, we need to catch it. Catching it is being just basically what I talk about all the time, self-aware. Self-awareness, stop what you're doing right now. Being self-aware is the number one principle of becoming a better individual. The number one principle in personal development. If you are not aware of the stuff that you are doing every single day, then what you're listening to right now is going in one ear and out the other. Because if you're not aware of what you're putting in your mouth or how that you sleep or what you're reading or who you're talking to, all that stuff, if you're not aware about that, you're never going to get to that next level. You're never going to lift your standards up. And so we need to make sure that we catch when our mind, our body goes out of whack and it goes from positive to negative. We need to catch that and be aware. So you're thinking, okay, Jake, all right, I got it. I'm really teed off right now. Well, what do I do to get over this? How do we bash these limiting beliefs? The second is to cover it. Now, in the military, in the fire service, in any service or job or industry, when somebody, a coworker, goes down or a family friend, what do? We try to help them out and we try to cover for them. In the military, you got my 6. In the fire department, we got 2 in, 2 out. In the police department, they got your back. All those different keywords, we understand it. How do we cover our limiting beliefs? We cover it by switching our mindset back to that positive. Taking a deep breath. We already identified and catched what the problem is. You're really teed off. Now we need to cover it with positive stuff. And this is where you kind of have to force yourself into it. You know how I talk about, you can't feel your way through life? Like nobody ever feels like waking up at 4 a.m. to read a book on personal development. Nobody feels like waking up at 4 a.m. to go work out. So the same applies to this. We need to cover that limiting belief and force ourselves to think positive. okay, what is the good that can come out of this? And I know what you're thinking right now, Jake, this is BS, dude. There's no way that I can change myself in that short of amount of time or to make myself believe that it's going to turn out and be okay. Well, what choice do you have? You have two choices in that moment. Number one, you stay where you're at, as in being pissed off and angry and frustrated and just annoyed. Or you have the ability to force yourself and thinking, okay, what's the good that can come out of this? I'm really not happy right now, but how do I turn this into my favor? And so you try to now search within your brain, your gourd, and try to think, how can you cover it, change it positively? And so the way we do that is the third C, and that is challenge. The third C is challenge. So we got catch, which is the first, we got cover as the second, and the third is challenge. We challenge ourselves. You and I are competitive individuals, and you may be thinking, Jake, I never competed in my life. I have no competition edge. I'm actually not really good at anything, so is this a competition like a game? No. You're challenging yourself now. You're forcing yourself to look at it in quote-unquote a game. Because for some odd reason, us people, us humans, love to try to reach and become victorious. We love to win, right? I mean, it's kind of built within us. If we're going to try for something, we want to achieve. That's why all of us set goals in 2017. That's why we all set goals in the first of the year. We all try to win. We all try to win at life. You get a job because you want to win. You want to be on the beach. You want to be drinking the margaritas. That's winning. If you want to win in your diet, you try to lose the 15 pounds so you can win, so you can kind of, beat yourself up and become victorious. And so the way that we beat these limiting beliefs is that we challenge ourselves. We have this little competition and saying, all right, I bet you I can do this. I bet you I can knock it out before 5 p.m. I bet you that I can challenge myself right now that I'll get it done. At 6:30, I'll be able to go home, have dinner, and maybe I can break away for half an hour and I can knock this sucker out. And so what we're doing in that process of the challenge is that we're focusing on something else now. And in the process of the cover, which is step number 2, kind of reverting a little bit, in covering, we're identifying, okay, we need to think positive, and now in the challenge, we are in the process of thinking positive. So that's the action step of the challenge, because now we're forcing ourselves to think outside of that, to think beyond that limiting belief, and to try to challenge ourselves to win, to become victorious. And the fourth is to conquer it. Through the process of challenging ourselves, of going through the next couple of hours, the 4 or 5 hours or 8 hours to finish the project, to get it emailed back in time, we need to conquer it. That's where we strive to quote-unquote win. Those are the 4 C's to limiting beliefs. Now, this can apply to anything. Like in the example I used earlier with my productivity or organizational skills. When I know that if I want to succeed in this business, I need to be very organized. When I think about that, I get really negative and I go, well, I'm not that type of person. I am who I am. My parents aren't very organized. There's no way I can be organized too because I have the same DNA genes as my father. And I'm not talking about Lee's or Denham's or the 7 genes, which are like $300. I'm talking about like DNA genes. And so in those moments, I first need to identify, Jake, what the heck are you doing? Stop thinking like that. Number 1, I'm catching it. The second thing is, number 2 is to cover, right? So I'm covering it. I'm going, okay, man, look, all right, yeah, you're right. You know what? I don't have the best circumstances. I don't have the best guidance. I don't have the best people in my life to go off of when it comes to organization, but I know that I want this so bad that I'm willing to figure out how to get past this. What do I need to do? And then third, that's where the challenge comes on in. That's where the plan comes on in. The plan of action to understand, okay, I really stink at organization. What should I do? Should I outsource? Should I start reading books? Should I start educating myself? Should I become a master of organization? And then the fourth is to conquer it. To go, okay, I'm going to read 3 books. I'm going to read a book from the 1900s on organizational skills. I'm going to read a book that is absolutely like the fundamentals, like the kind of the 101 on organizational skills. I'm going to find it on Amazon, like this one that has like 10,000 reviews. And then I'm going to find a book that is futuristic. It's the future of organization. It's all the new techie and trends and all that stuff. And I'm going to read those 3 books, and I'm going to melt together a foundation, a framework that is absolutely going to make me a master, and I'm going to conquer organization. And you may be sitting there going, you got to be kidding me, man. I don't have time to read the books.
You know who I am? I got 19 kids. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. We're going to Disney World. Yeah, speaking of debt, you're going to go in debt when you go to Disney World. Sidestep. My sister is going to Disney World. Holy guacamoles, that place is a vacuum of the wallet. I'm looking forward to going to Disney, but my gosh, it is going to be challenging not to go into debt for that. But anyway, so you may be thinking, Jake, I don't have the time or the availability to conquer those limiting beliefs. Well, we're going to go back to the fundamentals of personal development. That is, you have two options in your life. You stay the same or you challenge yourself and try to conquer the stuff that you
So there you guys go. Hopefully
stink at.
the replay of crushing your limiting beliefs with these 4 C's will inspire you, get you motivated, and of course, at least help you take that first step towards reaching a better self. So with that being said, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Go out there, do something freaking awesome. You guys have more power than what you're currently giving. And lastly, like I stated in the podcast today, the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. It is a very, very well-stated quote that I believe it affects everybody. We all know the easy things that we should be doing, but it's also easy to forget them, not to do them, or not to include them in your daily routine. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for being a part of Operation Self Reset. If you know somebody that could use a little bit of awesomeness in their own personal life, please feel free to share this episode and or this show with them. But until next week, Wednesday, go out there and be freaking awesome. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll see you then. Take care.